Coccidia. It's a fun word to say, but not a fun parasite to deal with. Coccidia is a parasite that is prevalent in the lives of baby goats and is one of the leading causes of death for baby goats up to about 6 months old. Today we're going to be talking about what causes Coccidia and what you can do to prevent it and keep it as low as possible in your goat herd. So the two main causes of Coccidia is number one, stress. So any huge stressful situation such as weaning time and big moves. So maybe going to a new home for baby goats. It's going to be pretty stressful for them and will increase the levels of Coccidia. So the second and main cause of Coccidia is going to be a dirty pen. So if your pen's super dirty and you have goats eating where they're pooping at, that's going to be how Coccidia spreads in your herd. So with that being said, and now that we know what causes Coccidia, we're going to be talking about a few ways that we can keep that to a minimum. So the first step to keeping Coccidia levels low in your herd is going to be frequently cleaning their pen, especially their house or the area that they spend most of their time. You'll notice here that we have straw bedding and we empty this out once a week and then replace it with fresh bedding. Coming up with a consistent, maybe weekly or every other week cleaning routine will ensure that there's never a point where there's lots of waste and goat poop being built up. And then if one goat's laying in their poop and another goat licks it, or if one goat is pooping in here and then another goat picks up a piece of hay off the ground and tries to eat it, that's how Coccidia is going to spread. Now with that being said, there's another thing you can do to keep your Coccidia levels low, and that is keeping your feed up off the ground so that goats cannot poop in it, especially the hay. So I've seen quite a lot of farms take hay and throw it on the ground for their goats. Well, that may be really easy and convenient, it's actually really bad for your goat's health. So the issue lies if you throw hay on the ground and say goats go out there and they start eating and then another goat goes over there and starts pooping in it and the goats continue eating, then those parasites from the goat's poop are being spread to your other goats who are eating. So the best thing you can do is keep your hay up off the ground. That's why we love hay feeders like this, because the goats can't get inside and can't soil the hay and it stays nice and fresh and clean. And like I mentioned with our grain feeder, it's the same situation. The baby goats can't poop in it and it's up off the ground. And sometimes it's unavoidable to keep the feed entirely off the ground. We feed our baby goats Timothy pellets, so we set these trays on the ground and the baby goats eat out of it. Now it's important to note, even though they're eating off of the ground, we clean this tray twice a day. So make fresh food in the morning and fresh food in the evening, and we're washing it out in between. That way we're ensuring that there's no built up poop or feces in there. Now, as mentioned previously, stress is a huge contributing factor for Coccidia. And one stressful situation is weaning time, which is what our baby goats are going through right now. That means that we're cutting back the amount of milk that they're eating and increasing the amount of grain and other sources of nutrients that they're getting. So in the morning, when they're yelling at me for their morning bottle, what I do is I cut up some branches. We use wax myrtle branches, and the baby goats go nuts for this. And it makes them forget about their bottle for a few hours and helps alleviate some of that stress. So that's another thing you can do to help keep the stress levels low in your baby goats and keep Coccidia to a minimum. Now, medication is the number one thing you can do to help keep your parasites, especially Coccidia, to a minimum with your baby goats. So when it comes to Coccidia prevention, the medicine that we use and that I recommend to absolutely everyone is Pinazril or Totazril, or there's a few other names for it, but it's all the same medication. So we're gonna go take a look at that right now, and I'll tell you guys what we dose with and how frequently we do it. So this right here is Totazril, and it's what we use to treat our baby goats for Coccidia. The dosage for it is 1 cc for every 5 pounds. If your baby goat's 5 pounds, that's 1 cc, 10 pounds, 2 cc's, 15 pounds, 3 cc's, and so on. The medication schedule that we have them on, and that has worked wonderfully. We've gone years without doing it, and we've done years with it, and seeing the difference in the growth of the baby goats and their Coccidia levels is pretty insane. But what we do is we treat them once when they're 21 days old. We treat them again 10 days after that first dose, and then from that point on, we do every 21 days until they're about 6 months old. I think it evens out to around 8 different doses after those first 2. And the Totazril is 5%, and we get it from horseprerace.com. I'm not sponsored or anything, just a really great product that we love and that we've really seen the difference in the health of our baby goats with using it. We'll link it down below, that way you guys can go on there and get some for your baby goats. So just in summary, the 4 main things you can do to keep Coccidia levels low in your baby goat herd is firstly, keep stress to a minimum. Secondly, clean out your goat pen frequently. Thirdly, keep their food up off the ground, and if it is on the ground, clean it frequently as well. And fourth, and most importantly, medicate. We hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful. If you want some other baby goat care tips, be sure to click our video right here. Thanks so much for watching, and we will goat you later.